Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest stories, trends, and innovations from leaders in the digital infrastructure industry. I'm Buffy Harakitis, EVP at JSA, and joining me today is John Edward Baxter. He is the VP of Alaska Communications. John, welcome.
Thank you, Buffy. I appreciate you having me here.
So, all the way from Alaska?
I'm from Central Oregon, but yes, Alaska. Yeah.
We don't get many opportunities to interview people from Alaska Communications, so it's such an honor and a pleasure to have you here today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
And we've been talking a little bit before we went on camera today about the need, for more communications across Alaska and the demand for reliable broadband, especially in regions such as Alaska. Why don't you talk about some of the unique challenges of delivering high-speed, low-latency communications across that region?
Absolutely. Like I said, I appreciate your time. One of the biggest challenges is simply geography. I mean, Alaska is a big place. If you cut Alaska in half, Texas becomes the third biggest state in the nation. That's how big Alaska is. The majority of the population's in Anchorage, Juneau, Kenai, Fairbanks, and Homer. Those are served very well by existing fiber networks. But you start getting out into the remote villages, and I mean remote. I mean, some of these you can only fly to. Some of them, it's a very much a challenge to get to. So in the urban areas like Anchorage, it's served by 4 subsea cables down to the lower 48 and a cable through Canada. So those are very well served. But you get out into the other areas, and that middle mile is incredibly important. Now, there's a lot of programs to provide fiber to the home in the villages, but it's the middle mile, getting it back to where they can actually access the internet,
Right.
that is truly a challenge. And I don't have to explore all different opportunities, whether it's geosatellite, LEO satellite, microwave, or government grants to build fiber. I mean, we are building fiber down the Yukon River. It's called the Alaska Fiber Optic Project. Literally putting fiber in the Yukon River to serve villages along there and bring high-speed internet to the residents there. In the urban areas, it's still not as easy as you would think.
Right.
So building fiber to the home in a place like Anchorage, you'd think it'd be really easy, but no, it's costly. It's a very CapEx driven item. So we're using other things. We're looking at items like Tirana, doing fixed wireless access, so that we can use existing infrastructure fiber, but extend that to small businesses, extend it to consumers at a reasonable cost, and provide them the access that they need to be productive.
Sounds transformative in Alaska, what you guys are doing for sure.
Yeah, you'd be surprised at the difference. I started in Alaska 2001.
Okay.
Okay. Prior to 2007, 2008 timeframe, there was one cable serving Alaska, and there were 9 DS3s on that cable. People in Alaska said, how will we ever use 9 DS3s? Okay. We now have 4 terabit cables to serve Alaska, and we're selling along. We sell 10G, 100G circuits. So the amount of transformation that's happened over the years is truly amazing.
It truly is the transformation, the growth there. And here at ITW, we've been talking a lot about partnerships in the telecom industry as a whole. It's always a key theme. So why don't you share some collaborations or partnerships that Alaska Communications has been forging to help bridge this digital divide and help continue the growth in Alaska?
Okay, well, thank you. So I mentioned the Alaska Fiber Optic Project. That is a government grant to bring fiber to the home to the villages along the Yukon River. Alaska Communications could not have done that alone. So we partnered with various organizations in Alaska, native corporations, and other ones to get those grants and to help us make sure that we are providing what the villages actually need. It doesn't matter what somebody sitting in Anchorage thinks they need.
Right.
It's really important what they need. Then as we look going further into the future, there's companies like Alaska Power and Cordova Moldova Telecom Association,
Okay.
and others that are using grants to build fiber infrastructure undersea in southeast Alaska. So Juneau, although it's the state capital, it's relatively isolated. And so what's being built now is other cables that are going to connect along the coast from Seattle all the way up, eventually get into Anchorage. So working with those other local exchange carriers, we're one of them, we're an ILEC, just to make sure that as they're building, we're looking at how do we serve our areas along the way, and also work with them to give them a redundant path, so that it's not just a matter of, hey, great, Port Orbital brings fiber to a community, but if there's a subsea fiber cut, it's a minimum of 10 days that we're repaired. So working with them to make sure that there is a redundant path really makes it so that not only do the users have the capacity, they keep the capacity.
Right, yeah. It's a little bit of partnership, a little bit of co-opetition there.
So just so you know, I'm on the carrier federal side. My team's role is to sell to other carriers. Those other carriers are also our competition. They're also our suppliers.
Right.
So it's a very, very unique and fun place to be.
Yeah, it sounds it for sure, and much needed
Yeah.
in order to achieve some of these strategic goals
Yeah.
that have been put into place. Now, cybersecurity, of course, is always a concern
Yep.
In the communications landscape, but now more than ever for sure. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about how you are enhancing your network to prevent some of these, very damaging cyber attacks?
Yep. So, of course, the first layer is physical. How do you make sure that you are protected at a physical level? So, a lot of our facilities are deemed critical infrastructure. So, we have government comes, looks at them, gives us advice, make sure that we have the proper generators, make sure that we have the ability to refuel those generators in in an event. But that's not really what you're talking about. What you're talking about is somebody on the other side of the world using the internet to get into our network and disrupt things. Constantly evolving threat. So we have a department that is purely focused on that. How do you keep our network safe? Not only within our our own, but also extending that out to our customers. How do we make sure that a customer I serve, by providing them upstream the internet that they provide to their customers, is protected from a denial of service attack? It's a constant challenge, making sure we look at like the CMMC rules for the federal government, and constant education, regardless of the industry stats on phishing. It's just amazing how many people will click on a link just because it looks real. And we have an ongoing program for that, just to make sure that our people don't do it, to the point of we're making the test phishing tests that we run on our employees, they're better than anything we see in the industry. So we're trying to make sure that
ethical hacking.
Ethical hacking. It's all internal. Just making sure that people don't do it. And if we have repeat offenders who accidentally click on that, they get additional training. And their manager gets additional training.
I mean, education is key in this battle against these cyber criminals that's continuously evolving and growing and getting more sophisticated by the minute.
And going out to our customers, we have a managed IT group that will do trainings for our customers on those exact types of things. Hey, these are things you should look for. These are things that make it odd. I hate to steal what TSA does, but in the airports, if you see something, say something.
Right.
Same idea. If it seems odd, don't click it.
Don't click it.
Yeah.
If it seems odd, don't click it.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you wanted to add today?
I really just thank you for the time, and I would suggest that everybody, when they get a chance, visit Alaska. It is truly worth it, and it's a place you'll never forget.
Yeah, it is on my bucket list, and probably of those many viewers tuning in at home, Our first time having Alaska Communications here on JSA TV. Such an honor and a privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, viewers, for tuning in to another episode of JSA TV from ITW 2025 in National Harbor. Stay curious, stay connected, and happy networking.